So I wanted to give you guys a good view of my closet here before I even started this project, just so you can see how it is really not utilized to the best of its ability, and I just was lacking the right amount of space for everything. Now this closet is 8 feet by 5 feet, so there is enough room to really store things, but just not how it was laid out. Now I wanted to do this on a budget, so I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took in making this a more usable space, but not spending a ton of money doing it. All right, so now that everything is out of here, you can see how the closet is organized and how it came, minus the dresser over here. So just some things about what the system is right here. This is just your regular inexpensive system that anybody can purchase from a hardware store or something like that. It's functional, it works, it's better than just having pulls in here for your clothes. However, these shelves are very small and don't hold very much. So I find that for me, it's not very functional. Now I find that I am more of a t-shirt and a jeans type of person. I don't wear a lot of real fancy clothes. So you can see that I'm going to be modifying and putting in a dresser. Let's get started and we'll do some painting and see what it turns into. When I started out this project, I looked into a lot of different organization systems. Now there's many out there that look really good and are easy to use. However, the price point just wasn't where I wanted it to be. I didn't want to go spend a fortune on my closet space. I'd rather spend that somewhere else where people are going to see it. So that's why I decided to do this myself and find ways just to make it a little more inexpensive. And I'll show you just how I do some little tricks to make it look like a nice built-in system without spending all the money. One of the ways that I was able to cut costs is by using this dresser that we got for free right here in this space to hold items that I would rather fold than hang up. I'm removing this old trim here that just makes everything look dated, and I'll be putting in something that's more modern and a little bit thicker just to make it fit in with the times. Now you can update any space with the paint. So I'm actually using Sherwin-Williams Alabaster for the wall paint, just to make it a little more lively and bright in here without those yellowy tones as it was before. And for the trim boards, I'm going to be using pure white, just to give it a nice contrast to the Sherwin-Williams Alabaster that's on the walls. And I'm just pre-painting these out in the garage so that I don't have issues with the paint being so close to the carpet. All right, so all my trim boards are painted and they're sitting in here where they need to be. I'm going to be using a stud finder just to make sure that I can find the studs on the wall because I want them nailed into something solid. I will be using a brad nailer here with 2.5-inch nails. If you have a pin nailer, it would work better. I don't, so I'll be using this. And I'll be using a level just to make sure that the boards are level on the ground as well as on the door. This dresser is pretty heavy, so you can see me just using my different techniques to get it put into place and just measuring each side to make sure that I have it evenly spaced on the wall. Not a whole lot to work with here, so I'm definitely going to want that space on either side for the clothes racks. Now, because I did not have a stud in the wall right where I wanted to put the clothes rack, I ended up putting a piece of wood that I painted the same color as the wall, and I put it into the studs so that it can hold that rack. I also used some wood dowels just to plug those holes so that you don't see the screws. And now here I am just attaching the holders for the clothes rods. And then I go ahead and measure and put in those rods. Just to give you an idea of what things look like in your house while doing a DIY project. Now for the shelves in my closet, I decided to head on over to IKEA and find an inexpensive shelf. Now, of course, you always find some extras here, so I'll be coming home with some other decor as well, as you can find some great buys here. And here I am putting this whole shelf together with that one teeny tiny tool that they give you. This is not a solid wood bookcase. However, I think it's going to be great for this space right now, and if for any reason I find that it does not hold up, I can build something different in the future here. And I'm just going to slide it into the closet here and set it up into the corner. Now it comes with a hook to attach it to the wall. So I'm just going to find the stud in the wall here and attach that hook to it. Then what I want to do is make sure that I'm leveling up that shelf before I attach it to it, just so that it attaches it level both up and down and side to side to that wall. That way it won't come falling down if there's an earthquake or if one of my kids comes and starts pulling on it. Now if you take a look at this shelf, it looks very cheap and inexpensive. So let's see what I can do just to make this look like a really nice built-in. So I'm headed out to my shop here, and I ended up buying some trim boards that are in pine, and they are a premium pine here. So this is not just your regular common board. And I'm going to just cut them down on my miter saw, and I'm going to glue them on the edges of this shelf. I'll be using wood glue and my brad nailer to put them on. Now you can tell that I put it right up against the wall there, and by doing this it's going to give it more of a look of a built-in, and that trim is just going to add a lot to it here. In my daughter's room, her shelf has a nice curve on the top that I feel just makes it look a lot better and makes it look like a very expensive shelf that you would buy. So I just used it to trace my board and then just ran out to the shop and used the bandsaw to cut my own board. Then after sanding it down, I came in and attached it and gave it that nice bit of a curve at the top. Now to finish off my look, I made sure to put boards on all the shelves. Now for a few of them, I had to make sure to leave enough room on either side so that the shelves could come in and out. And on the rest, I just made sure to attach them right close to the sides. Lastly, I put a trim board along the top that slightly overhangs. I also made sure to put a board on the side there that the clothes rack can attach to. Now to close up those seams and make everything look like one solid piece, I use caulking. I also use it along the edge next to the wall there. And now I'm moving on to putting in the clothes racks on this side of the closet. Doing the process just like I did on the other side. Now time to paint that shelf, and I use the same color as I used on the trim. And now with the shelves in there, it looks like a really nice built-in shelf. Those edges just hooking right along with the wall there, it looks like something that cost a lot more than just my inexpensive IKEA shelf. And it will hold all of my books in here or whatever I decide to put on these shelves, and giving it quite a bit more room than I had in my last shelf. Now I'll be using these lower shelves to hold my shoes. And now I have some organization to my closet. All right, and to finish this phase, I'm going to put on that last clothes rack there. And one thing I found, just to make my clothes look a little nicer, I try to put them in color areas so that all the colors are kind of matching in there. And I try to put my clothes in sections. So my sweatshirts all together, my sweaters together, and then color code them. It will make your closets just look a little more organized, and it also seems to help me in going to find what I need. So hopefully that will help you too. And closet phase 1 is complete. Still a lot of work to go here, but this is a great improvement from what I started out with. And this is what I used to walk into. And now to this. This area over here was not used at all and now holds so many hanging clothes. And this area over here just wasn't even using part of the wall. And now I have these shelves that look like a built-in that nicely hold all of my stuff.